This short video is a part of multiple short videos on the topic of how to optimize health at every age. So this particular video is for the age range 40 to 49. If you're outside of that age range, then go look for your category. But basically there is 4 pillars that are essential for all the age groups, and those are diet, exercise, stress management, both internal and external stress, and sleep management. So when it comes to diet in this age group, it is extremely important to eat a very healthy diet, and there is no diet better than whole foods plant-based diet in this age group. Why is that? Because by this time a lot of toxins have built in the body, and the body has already gone through a lot of wear and tear, and hormone imbalance starts to set in. A lot of wear and tear occurs that causes damage to multiple functions of the body. And in order to support our detoxification mechanisms, and in order to make sure that we optimize function in every part of the body, a lot of micronutrients and a lot of good antioxidant rich diet is needed, and that can be done with the help of whole foods plant-based diet. Further, we can personalize diet with the help of food sensitivity testing, and this is usually done when there are symptoms, for example, food problems or gut symptoms or autoimmune diseases and other things. And with the help of that test and additional testing, diet can be further personalized. The next thing would be exercise. So of course exercise is important in any age, but in this age group it becomes extremely important to start focusing on core strength and maintaining and preserving muscles, and at the same time focusing on flexibility, because this is when the body starts to lose flexibility. So if we start to incorporate yoga and other types of routine in our daily activities and daily exercise, then it becomes very beneficial. At least 150 minutes of exercise every week are recommended. Now is the next thing, which is management of internal stress. So stress management is extremely important, internal and external. The internal stress comes from body's wear and tear, body's toxin accumulation, and all kinds of other metabolic activities that go on. And in this age group, multiple tests can be done to kind of see the status of the internal stress in the body, and then of course interventions can be adopted to make sure that we manage that stress and correct some of those problems. So what can we do? Well, we can do metabolic testing. So in this age group, people usually have a lot of metabolic problems. If they were going to be predisposed to diabetes, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, kidney problems, or additional metabolic problems, by now things have started to show up. So we need to check for all of those things: diabetes, liver problem, kidney problem, even markers of inflammation. Then cardiovascular risk starts to come on the surface, because by this people have usually started to develop blood pressure, they have a little bit high cholesterol, they have a touch of cardiovascular disease, maybe a little bit of atherosclerosis, which is the thickening of the arteries. So if there is any suspicion, then advanced cardiovascular testing must be done, which includes coronary artery calcium score. We can do ANS testing, which is a test of autonomic nervous system. We can also do imaging to make sure there is no additional plaques in other parts of the vascular system. We can definitely do a cholesterol test and additional advanced level tests to look at the status of the cardiovascular health. Next is the hormones. So this is the age group where, although people have not yet gone through menopause and they are still preserving their hormones, but things start to deteriorate, especially in the higher age range. So men in this age group start to show low levels of testosterone, especially if they've gone through a lot of stress in life, if they've been sleep deprived over time, if they are overweight and their lifestyle is not all healthy. More than 20% of men will have low testosterone levels. So we need to make sure that we check for it. Thyroid hormone deficiency or abnormal thyroid hormone will also be very common in this age group, especially if it hasn't been looked at before. So if there is any suspicion, we need to test for it. Then in women or female hormones, it becomes very important to check for estrogen levels, progesterone, and testosterone levels, because this is the time when some women will start to go through perimenopause phase. So their levels must be tested, and in fact some women will actually go through menopause before the age of 50. So we need to make sure that we test for all of those things. And because if the hormones are not in balance, then a lot of things, organs in the body are not going to function properly. So if there is any fatigue, difficulty losing weight, problems with cognition, problems with sexual function, problems with mood, all of those things basically point to possibility of hormone imbalance. So we need to test for all of that. Then the next thing would be nutritional deficiency. So although people may think that they are well fed and they are feeling nutritionally balanced, but the micronutrient deficiencies start to develop in this age. So we need to start to look for magnesium and folate and all the micronutrients, the minerals, the vitamins, the amino acids, and the fatty acids. And that can be done on an individual basis because everybody's needs are going to be different. Vitamin D deficiency is the most common nutritional deficiency in this age group and every age group. And then the external factors need to be evaluated as well. So those are, before we do that, a couple more things about the internal stress. So the autoimmune diseases must be looked for and evaluated for if there is any clinical suspicion, because this is the age group where if the test has not been done yet and people are predisposed to autoimmune diseases, this is when they actually start to manifest all the symptoms and start to show biomarkers. So if somebody, for example, was genetically predisposed to lupus or rheumatoid arthritis, which are autoimmune diseases, by now sufficient amount of stress has accumulated in the body where the epigenetic expression is taking place and people are going to show autoimmune diseases. So we need to look at those tests. And then the next thing would be gut. So this is when the digestive system starts to fall apart a little bit, although people may not have a lot of symptoms, but even if they have a few symptoms of gut, then they need to get the gut evaluation, which basically is done in the form of food sensitivity testing, microbiome testing, and other things, and then appropriate management plan can be devised. This is when typically people start to need probiotics, and sometimes they need digestive enzymes, and they need to manage if they have any functional gut problems. And of course, this is all done in addition to their routine screening exams, which should be done as per guidelines. The next thing would be work evaluation. So work evaluation, like for any other age category, should focus on what type of work people are doing and if it is putting them at risk for complications associated with that work. So this would be the high risk jobs, which are the sit down desk jobs, jobs that require repetitive physical work, jobs that are basically stressful on the body in the form of toxin exposure. Then there are jobs that are basically night shift workers, where people are just people have circadian rhythm problems because they are working more at night and staying up and sleeping during the day, or having to sleep during the day. Then there are jobs that put a lot of emotional and psychological stress on the body, and that is basically the customer service and human resources types of jobs. So all of those types of jobs and the work that is done in those jobs must be looked at, and the risk must be mitigated accordingly. Sleep is extremely important. This is the age group where the obstructive sleep apnea symptoms start to show. So people who are a little bit overweight, or they have the risk factors for sleep apnea, they are going to start to show the symptoms in the form of snoring, daytime sleepiness, fatigue, morning headaches. So these are the people, these symptoms if present, we should look for sleep apnea and do the studies for it, so that we can obtain at least 7 to 8 hours of good quality and good quantity of sleep. The next thing would be at the same time, we need to make sure that we're looking at all those things that may be disrupting sleep. For example, excessive amount of caffeine or stimulants, because in this age group, the metabolism will start to slow down to the point where body doesn't metabolize things as efficiently as before. So if, for example, you are consuming coffee in the evening, you're not going to be able to sleep at night. Then the last thing would be genetic testing. So based upon individual needs, genetic testing can be done, and that's usually in the form of cardiovascular genetic testing, Alzheimer's disease genetic markers, and then cancer screen. And then there are lots of other tests that can be done on the genetic testing panel. So this is all for the age group 40 to 49, and I hope it is helpful and we can follow it and stay as healthy for as long as possible. Thank you.